That is what stood between Ottawa and a 50% tariff wall on nearly $20 billion of Canadian goods as of Friday, August the 14th, 2026. Not a threat anymore. Not a rumor circulating in trade circles. A signed presidential proclamation, dated July the 20th, with a clock already running toward August the 19th. And on that Friday, in a tire factory outside Des Moines, Iowa, the man responsible for enforcing that deadline stood in front of reporters and delivered a message with no ambiguity in it at all. United States Trade Representative Jameson Greer said talks with Canada had been constructive. Then, in the same breath, he said Canada would have to lift its retaliatory measures if it wanted to avoid the new tariffs altogether. Not soften them, not review them, lift them. That single sentence, spoken at a state fair 1,000 miles from Washington, captures where this standoff actually sits right now. Not resolved, not collapsed, suspended, 5 days out, with both governments still negotiating and neither one blinking in public. To understand why a 50% tariff is even on the table, and why the word move matters so much in the final days before it lands, you have to go back roughly 18 months, because this did not start in July. It started with a different tariff, a different justification, and a retaliation that Canadians are still living with today. Early last year, President Donald Trump imposed blanket tariffs on Canadian goods, citing concerns about fentanyl trafficking and illegal immigration across the northern border. Canada, then under a newly installed government led by Prime Minister Mark Carney, did not simply absorb the hit. Ottawa answered with a slate of its own counter-tariffs, targeting American products the same way Canada had done once before, back in 2018, during the first Trump administration's steel and aluminum dispute. That earlier trade war offers a useful lesson in how Canadian retaliation tends to work. In 2018, Canada didn't scatter its tariffs randomly. It aimed them at politically sensitive American exports: Pennsylvania ketchup, Florida orange juice. Goods chosen specifically because their producers lived in states with real electoral weight, the kind of businesses that call their senators when sales disappear. Former special advisor on Canada-U.S. relations, Diamond Eisinger, speaking to BNN Bloomberg, described that strategy's logic plainly. Local economic pain translates into local political pressure, and political pressure eventually reaches the president's desk. That same instinct shaped Canada's most visible countermeasure in this current fight, the provincial liquor ban. Starting in March of last year, provinces from British Columbia to Newfoundland ordered American beer, wine, and spirits pulled off the shelves of government-run liquor stores. It wasn't a federal tariff line item. It was something more visceral. An entire category of U.S. exports simply vanishing from Canadian retail overnight. And it worked, at least by the metric its architects cared about. According to reporting from BNN Bloomberg, American wine sales in Canada collapsed by roughly $343 million in 2025 alone. The Distilled Spirits Council of the United States, an industry group representing American liquor producers, has publicly called the ban devastating to their sales. Eisinger told BNN Bloomberg the boycott was clearly yielding results and was something very frustrating for the American side, with real economic effects landing on U.S. producers, rather than just symbolic ones. By the summer of last year, though, the picture started shifting. On August the 22nd, 2025, Prime Minister Carney announced that Canada would remove nearly all of its retaliatory tariffs on American goods compliant with the Canada-United-States-Mexico Agreement, commonly known as CUSMA, effective September the 1st. The decision followed a phone call between Carney and Trump on August the 21st. The White House, according to CBC News, welcomed the move and called it long overdue. Carney kept tariffs in place on 3 strategic sectors: steel, aluminum, and autos, citing their continued importance and what he described as ongoing American protectionism in those specific industries. At the time, Carney framed the broader trade relationship in stark terms, calling the environment a new world order shaped by U.S. protectionism, one in which he warned all future negotiations risked being held hostage to shifting American trade policy.
Hello everyone. Everyone is looking shocked because after the 8 months of the trading war, Canada take a shocking decision that shocked everyone. Canada removed the tariff from some product of the USA after the negotiation, but we cannot be think about the Trump what could he will be do. We cannot estimate, but Canada behave very sensible. He tried to negotiation and try his first to remove the tariff and expecting from the Trump to remove that tariff of the 50% or decrease or remove or decrease on before 19 August. We know 50% tariff will be implemented on the 19 August, but Canada behaving sensibly and reduced the some tariff from the American products as a negotiation and also expecting from the Trump. But everyone know Trump is very arrogant and he is not sensible man. He will take all the decision that will destroy the Mark Carney and the Canada. When Trump decide to when Trump has problem with someone, then he will do everything. He does not care whether it affect the people of the both country. He not care. He will only, uh, I think, implement the 19 August. But Canada shocked me. He behaved simple, very sensible. I think he is again trying to be a friendship deal with the America and the Trump negotiation team. He is bearing very sensible. They are expecting that they cannot fight like this, put a tariff, backfire again and again. That is harming the both country, but result will come. That will be clarified on 19 August. But Canada behave sensibly and they, I think, do a good decision to remove the tariff from the few products to show the friendship. But everyone know Canada is always helping the America, but Trump is putting the fire on the his friends. That's very bad. Everyone give your opinion in the comment section. Hope you like my video. We will meet in the next video.